Welcome everyone, my name is Pavel Martin and I'm a lead solution consultant at Sprinklr. Really excited that you joined us for today's discussion and hope that you and yours are safe and healthy. So for today's session, we're going to be focused on the growing trend of conversational commerce. The topic has been a priority as organizations around the globe adjust to external events that are making their digital strategies crucial. And to that end, we're really excited to be joined by Zach Mastromato from Facebook. Zach will walk us through the latest trends in consumer behavior, the opportunity available to brands that respond, and how some companies are already seeing results. Zach is a strategic partner manager for business messaging at Facebook, and will be sharing some great details on the work that he and the team at Facebook are doing to help support our joint customers. So without any further delay, I'll hand things over to Zach and we can dive right in.
Thanks, Pavel, and hello, everybody. My name is Zach Mastromato. I'm a strategic partner manager on business messaging platforms here at Facebook. Today, I'm very excited to talk with you all about the future of business messaging. Through our existing platform partnerships, we've already been seeing messaging and conversation deliver business outcomes for the whole ecosystem. We're very excited to take this to the next level with you all in partnership with Sprinklr in 2021. So let's get into it. As a company, Facebook is currently focused on 4 themes for the year ahead: communities, private messaging, commerce tools, and computing. With 2 of those 4 themes directly tying into conversational commerce, I want to spend some time talking with you about why we are excited about that theme, what we are seeing to support it, and what we are building to accelerate it. And we're going all in with partners like Sprinklr, who are fundamental to helping us scale across the business landscape in order to enable businesses like you grow along with our Facebook apps. The reality is, conversation is at the heart of all relationships. From friends and family to coworkers and casual acquaintances, a good, personal, clear conversation can make the difference in all the world. And the same holds true for businesses and their customers. For the past few years, people have been consistently increasing the amount of messaging that they do with their friends and family. And more, people expect to message businesses the same way. Conversation between people and businesses has been seeing incredible momentum across the world. In a recent report from Facebook IQ, in partnership with Boston Consulting Group, we saw 64% of people across generations said that they prefer messaging to a call or an email, and 1 in 2 people surveyed globally wish they could communicate with more businesses through messaging. And this is across all generations. We're not just talking about millennials. We're not just talking about Gen Z. This is cross-generational, truly. We're talking about my mom, your dad, maybe even our grandparents. People also have zero tolerance for friction. A big part of this shift is the fact that people have just lost that tolerance for friction in any form. As more communication options become available to people, their expectations of businesses continue to increase. And we know that overwhelmingly, those people feel that those expectations are not being met. In a recent Twilio survey, only 2 out of 10 people said that businesses were effectively communicating with their customers. And regardless of what is causing this perception, we know it is costing businesses money. Poor customer experiences, from poor customer care to unsatisfactory shopping experiences, are costing businesses more than $75 billion a year. As we at Facebook consume all of these stats, we know that messaging has the power to give people around the clock on-demand service that they expect. We know this, and we're dedicated to imparting this to businesses so that they too realize the opportunity that they have in front of them. That said, though, it's an understatement to say that 2020 was a challenging year, but at the same time, it was a year of complete digital transformation. The business challenges brought on by the coronavirus pandemic in 2020 have accelerated the adoption of messaging for people and businesses around the world. In a 1-month period to the beginning of last year, we at Facebook saw messaging on Facebook's apps increase by more than 50% in many of the countries impacted by the coronavirus. Voice and video calling on Messenger and WhatsApp also grew by more than 2x. COVID-19 has also accelerated business messaging for companies of all sizes. Many small and medium-sized businesses are adopting messaging first for the first time in lieu of in-person interactions. On the other side, though, larger enterprises are also investing more in their messaging experiences as call centers are forced to become remote and volume of support queries increase. At Facebook, we look to empower individuals and businesses, both big and small. There are now around 3.1 billion people using Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Messenger each month to connect with your friends, your families, your communities, and the businesses that you love. Not only that, though, there are 180 million businesses that also use our apps every single month. That's nearly one business for every 55 people on the planet. They are all using Facebook systems of solutions to connect with their customers and drive growth for their business. Big Fortune 500 brands use our services, but they do so alongside coffee shops, barber shops, and family-owned restaurants of the like. Because of this scale, along with the connection between these businesses and our messaging app specifically, we have the potential to be the largest business messaging platform in the world. And messaging is no longer just a trend. It's a behavior people are doing naturally and want to do more with businesses. And Facebook is really leading the way with 3 of the world's largest messaging apps, positioned to help businesses meet their customers where they are. Messenger allows businesses to connect with people in the channel that they prefer, making business personal and convenient. Over on Instagram is used as an interest destination to connect to the people, brands, and things that they love, and the businesses are a core part of that ecosystem. WhatsApp's mission is to enable any person to discover, communicate, and transact with any business in a private communication channel. The future state of our messaging solutions includes cross-app communication across all of Facebook's messaging app services, giving people and businesses the ability to communicate seamlessly and privately across all the apps that you see here. As we envision this future state of cross-app communication, we're also looking out for the trends that are emerging in user behaviors to make sure that we keep a pulse on the next big thing. That one transformative trend that will just change everything. And interestingly, sometimes the most important shifts are actually when 2 trends collide to form something completely powerful and new. In this instance, we're talking about the hypergrowth in messaging, or the hypergrowth in conversation, coupled with digital commerce to form a whole new wave of conversational commerce. Conversational commerce, as defined by the industry, is defined as connecting people and businesses through chat or voice assistant with the intent to drive purchase or goods of services. Our focus today is on chat, i.e. the messaging component. And when we talk about conversational commerce, we're talking about the full range of reasons people chat with businesses, from asking about store hours on through to booking appointments, to making purchases, to tracking deliveries, resolving issues, the whole gamut. And we know that messaging can serve a customer throughout their consumer journey with a business. Of the people we surveyed globally across multiple markets, 81% told us that they are already using messaging to ask about products or services. 78% have already used messaging to get support for a product or service. And 74% have already used messaging to make a purchase or an appointment. Conversational commerce is happening in all the places where people are already spending their time. Our research has shown us that there are 3 key places where conversational commerce is already happening today. The first is a brand's own website, and we see that about 16% of the conversation is happening there. The second, we see that 35% of the conversation is happening on specific e-commerce platforms. And lastly, and most importantly to this presentation, we see that about half of the conversation is happening on social and messaging platforms. Within that last bucket that I just called out, 90% of the action that we see is happening on Facebook products. That's on Messenger, that's on WhatsApp, and that's on Instagram. At Facebook, we build products and services to support trends that are already happening on our platforms. We have been watching conversational commerce behaviors increase naturally over time, not only across the ecosystem of messaging platforms and services that are out there, but very specifically on our platforms as well. Over the last year, we have built really robust products and services to better support these user behavior trends that we are continuing to see grow. That brings me to Facebook Shops. We've adapted to these shifts very quickly and have reimagined our commerce vision as a result. Shops is the biggest step that we've taken yet to enable commerce across Facebook's apps and services. Shops makes it easier for businesses to set up their digital storefront and sell things online. Our vision is to make shopping seamless and empower anyone from a small business owner to a global brand to use our apps to connect with consumers. That goal is to have one unifying shopping experience across all of our Facebook's apps and services. Any changes that you make to a shared collection in your shop goes live across all of our apps. Customers can message a business through Messenger, through Instagram Direct, or through WhatsApp to ask questions about any of your products, get support on a purchase, to track your deliveries, and much, much more. And in the future, customers will be able to view a business's shop and make purchases right within a chat on all three platforms. To make this even more tangible for the listeners out there, I want to show you what a conversational commerce experience looks like on Messenger and on WhatsApp. We've continued to develop shopping functionality on Messenger, on Instagram, and WhatsApp platforms, starting with the call to action buttons from your business's shop. Consumers can ask questions and request more information about your products, and your agents can then respond to those questions with specific products within your catalog that consumers can then browse and shop from. And here's another look at shopping within Messenger and WhatsApp, where your agents can share shoppable links in thread with consumers. Our hope is that this generates increased sales volume for you straight from a conversational commerce thread. I also want to highlight a few great successes that we are seeing in APAC, which is leading the charge globally in conversational commerce. And that's starting with KFC in Malaysia. KFC wanted to increase engagement with its bot for Messenger, making itself more accessible to customers while offering faster and easier food delivery orders through that channel. The idea was to allow customers to conveniently order within Messenger instead of having to navigate to another website. The bot for Messenger received orders and could respond instantly to frequently asked questions using a mix of text and images. The bot also anticipated further questions by offering relevant information about the menu, about pickup locations, delivery times, the whole kit and caboodle. In this short 2-week campaign, KFC saw 1,200 transactions started by customers online and in retail stores via Messenger. It saw 36,000 new conversations on Messenger and 100,000 messages received and sent over Messenger. Another amazing example that I want to share with you is the Australian Open. The Australian Open launched a ticket finder bot in October 2017 as part of an ad campaign on Facebook and Instagram. The bot helped fans identify the types of tickets available, select their match dates, and their specific sessions that they wanted to attend. To then complete the transaction, the ticket purchase page opened in Messenger's web view, where people could select and enter payment information. It resulted in a 24x return on ad spend and 4,600 sales from click-to-Messenger ads. Lastly, I want to leave you with Kiehl's in Vietnam, who launched a great example of leveraging conversational commerce within Messenger uniquely well. The skincare brand built a comprehensive system to support conversational commerce within Messenger, including a robust logistics and inventory management system and chatbot. Kiehl's then ran a campaign to launch its conversational commerce on Facebook and saw great success. They saw 1.8x return on ad spend, 22% growth in sales, and 4 times more new Messenger conversations after the campaign launched. One of the quotes from the executive at Kiehl's says, "This campaign gave us the confidence that conversational commerce works for a global brand. It has not only resulted in more sales than we expected, it has also helped us create new conversations with consumers, which is tremendously valuable for our acquisition plan." So in short, this is just the beginning. Working in tandem with partners like Sprinklr, we're looking forward to building a business messaging and conversational commerce strategy directly with you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to seeing what we create together with you in the future. With that, I'll turn it over to Pavel for any questions.
Thanks a lot, Zach. That was incredibly helpful, and it's really exciting to see how big of a focus conversational commerce is for Facebook as an organization. I think that really speaks volumes to the opportunity in front of all businesses around the world. So I'm wondering if we could just dig in on a couple of the topics that you highlighted in your talk. So early on, you'd mentioned that nearly 2/3 of people across all generations preferred messaging to calls or emails. What is your opinion on why that would be?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's simply just more convenient. If you think about your own messaging experience, it's more convenient and more engaging than other channels. For example, like Messenger has persistent messaging functionality, so you can start a conversation on one platform or one browser or one phone device and go to another. And chat is just much more engaging than say like email, which has that natural wall of time between it.
Got it. And related, I think, to that convenience and the reduction of friction, that BCG data that you'd highlighted said that nearly half of the conversational commerce volume and traffic is happening on social and messaging platform versus other experiences like branded websites or even e-commerce platforms. Do you have an hypothesis in terms of why that would be?
Yeah, and this is one to clarify, being my opinion, but Facebook builds really great product strategies around behaviors and user behaviors that they already see happening on the platform at scale. Um, People around the world have already been coming to Facebook, engaging with businesses through platforms like Messenger, Instagram Direct, and WhatsApp, and engaging in conversational commerce already. Um, it's likely that this is because Facebook is just a natural discovery engine for consumers, and our messaging platforms are already just widely adopted.
Yeah, and speaking of that adoption, I really enjoyed seeing examples, from all over the globe. Kind of referencing that, are there trends, preferences throughout either different regions or markets or things that you think brands should be aware of as they plot out their own strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. There's already a lot happening in APAC. I called that out in the presentation. I struggled to only find three examples. There's just so much going on in that region with conversational commerce. LATAM is also very strong with conversational commerce. I think we have more work to do in North America and Europe, uh, but I think Instagram Direct, as we come to GA with that product, will be a big key to that.
Excellent. I think that's a really great call out as well in terms of the different platforms and preferences because we're also seeing that customers invest more into messaging, that they take a different path just depending on their needs. Do you see either common paths or things that folks should think about in terms of maturity or priority in terms of how they invest in each of your messaging channels?
Yeah, I would say it's not one size fits all. When you think about your own business, without being cliche, but you really are your own snowflake. Um, for example, we've seen beauty brands take up Instagram Direct very quickly. APAC and Latin brands go really strong with Messenger. You might be a very large, complex brand, or more on the mid market or SMB. But ultimately, though, like your brand will go where your consumers are, and that's where they'll start their messaging journey on whichever platform. And your maturity will evolve first by being able to simply reach those customers, but then driving over time, driving efficiencies and lowering costs as you scale. So that's our hope is through experimentation.
Got it. And I think you call out actually a really natural tension point that I'd love to dig in on as well, right? So when we think of some of the largest global brands and folks that are managing experiences in the different channels, it feels like there's can be that tension between, conversational commerce should be very personalized, but they also have the need to operate at scale. Have you seen folks navigate this successfully? How do they find that balance between automation versus that human touch as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's always a delicate balance, I think. Again, I hate to be cliche, but it really holds water here. That the best strategies go through trial and error. They go through the fire. They test and they iterate. They continually learn and evolve, and it's based on your specific situation, where your company finds itself. If you think about it, what is your agent's response time, and are you seeing drop off early in the funnel? Maybe automation would help alleviate your agents and answer those repeatable type of questions. Then maybe when a user comes down the funnel, is really looking to purchase, maybe then you have an engaged, dedicated agent who can, get quick response times and help support that end purchase. You'll have to experiment and see what works for you, but it's definitely through trial and error and experimentation we'd recommend.
Yeah, it sounds like requiring flexibility is pretty important. Not just here, but really throughout all of our lives with what we've kind of experienced in the last year or so. And I think related to that, to the pandemic and some of its effects, where do you land and what's your opinion on kind of how that impacted the trends around conversational commerce, right? Did it create this burst of activity that's eventually going to dissipate, or did it just jumpstart volume and demand that was already going to be there and create a new floor? Or do you think this has just created a permanent shift in terms of what users are going to expect and how they're going to act going forward?
Another great question. I called this out in the presentation, but we saw a huge pop last year as a result of the pandemic in terms of messenger usage, WhatsApp usage. Um, we're continuing to support that increased usage and growing immensely because of it. We're also continuing to see that long arc trend of users preferring messaging a business over other communication channels. So I would say that that floor has come up, and we're really excited to support the increase in volume on the platforms.
Excellent. And I guess, we'll finish up then with ultimately what can be the multi-million-dollar question. And it's, you know, what's the so what? What is the benefit to you? And what's your opinion in terms of brands that embrace conversational commerce, when they're large or having global experiences and presence across multiple markets? What's the reason? Does it really build these relationships? Does it really, grow the value of the relationship between consumers and brands? Why should they really focus on making sure to take advantage and capitalize on this trend?
Yeah. You'll, I mean, to start, you'll be able to meet your customers where they are and what they're already doing today and support them way more holistically throughout their customer journey than before, but through conversational commerce. I think about my own experiences sometimes, and I hope you do too. You think about that good customer experience, that bad customer experience, you probably remember those two, and you probably forget the ones in the middle. They're probably just long forgotten in your memory. People immediately associate the good customer care experiences with a brand caring when they're able to answer questions about the things that they're about to buy immediately, especially. That in turn just drives brand loyalty, and that's kind of what this is all about. It'll drive brand loyalty, drive higher customer satisfaction with your brand, and you'll eventually see it on your bottom line.
Excellent. Well, I think we're running up on time now, but genuinely want to thank you for your time today and everything you've shared. If nothing else, I feel like we can all walk away knowing that this trend seems very clear, and that the move towards conversational commerce on social and messaging it's not going away. If anything, it's going to continue to grow, and it represents a huge opportunity for all of us. So, if anyone participating today has any questions or would like to dig in further on how to make this a reality for your own customers, please, by all means, reach out to the teams at Facebook and Sprinklr. We'd all be really happy to get into the details with you and come up with the best solution for your business. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.